school, I miss volleyball, and it's terrible.
Only at 11, a local student suspended for having pepper spray. Now at this hour, she and her mom are waiting to find out if she'll face even more discipline. They told our reporter, Serafina James, why they feel pepper spray is a necessary precaution.
Yeah, this is the pepper spray that I had on my lanyard whenever I walked to school.
15-year-old Ambridge Jr. Madison Mahalik walks to and from school alone each day. Worried for her safety, she started carrying pepper spray for protection.
I know the area is not the best, so I wanted to have something in case anything happened to me.
The tool she says she carries for self-defense was recently discovered by Ambridge High School officials. Mahalik was then suspended for 10 days for violating the district's weapon policy.
I think it was way too much to happen to me for something that small. I miss school, I miss volleyball, and it's terrible.
Jessica Prentice, Madison's mother, tells me her daughter was wrongfully punished, and the district's weapon classification is unclear.
This is not the same policy. The words aren't the same. They've completely excluded the part where it says anything about pepper spray.
On the district's website, their online handbook defines any propellants such as pepper spray and mace as weapons. However, in the paper handbook given to parents and students at the start of the year, one they were asked to read over and sign, does not explicitly mention either of those items under the weapons policy. Instead, it says that a chemical agent or other agents used as toxins are considered weapons. The saber spray Madison used lists the active ingredient as red pepper.
I looked at the CDC website for chemical agents. I've looked at the CDC website for toxins, and it's not on either one of them.
The mother-daughter duo took their frustrations to the Ambridge School Board Wednesday night.
Did you find anything unusual about the weapons policy?
The paper handbook states revisions can be made during the school year as a result of board policies approved after the date of publication. But Mahalik and Prentice say that never happened. Madison, her mother, alongside their lawyer, argued their case in front of the school board. That meeting had been going on for at least 2 hours. The school board is now deliberating, which they've been doing for the last 20 or so minutes. But during the meeting, the school principal admitted that the board policy differs from what's in the handbook and online. And the Ambridge superintendent, he recommended a 45-day suspension for Madison. Again, right now they're deliberating, so of course when they have an answer, we'll be able to pass that along to you. In Ambridge, Serafina James, Channel 11 News.